Have you ever heard of the law of holes? It says, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. Some say this is the most important piece of wisdom out there. But what gets us inside the hole in the first place? And why do we dig more and more? Today we're digging into the law of holes and its powerful connection between the concept of perverse incentives. Perverse incentives are those well meaning rewards that accidentally encourage the exact opposite behavior of what was intended. And when you combine them with the tendency to keep digging when we're in trouble, you get the recipe for escalating disaster. Understanding these two ideas together will fundamentally change how you approach problems in your personal life, your work, or even in society at large. So, starting with the law holes, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. It is all about self awareness. Finding yourself in a hole means that you're in a bad situation. Now, how did you get there? Note that the law assumes that the only way you could have gotten in a hole is because you dug it yourself, not because someone else appeared and put you in there. That's because we have at least some responsibility for the vast majority of bad situations you get into in life. For example, you got into an argument with someone, or you're trying to protect your ego, or you started doing what everyone else was doing. There are quite a few traps that we fall into when we're not really thinking. In that situation, the best next thing to do is stop digging, stop arguing, stop fighting, stop whatever you're doing. Digging can only make the hole bigger, and then you'll be in a bigger hole. It's harder to get out of the bigger hole. That's where the so called second law of holes comes in. If you stop digging, you are still in a hole. You have stopped making the hole bigger, but you still need to live with it. You may start trying to get out of the hole, for example, but that will still take efforts. Besides all traps of the unthinking mind, we may be also acting under perverse incentives. This is a concept from economics where an incentive has undesired or even opposite effects from what was intended. You may have heard that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That saying has a lot to do with perverse incentives, in that good intentions aren't enough to produce good results. Most people have good intentions when an argument starts, but it may get worse and worse. The general result of perverse incentives is called Cobra Effect, after the example of the British Empire with a cobra overpopulation, then started paying people to bring dead cobras, which ended up with people breeding cobras for money, making the problem worse. When they finally stopped digging that hole, it was too big and the cobra population ended up increasing instead of decreasing. And another example of unintended consequences is the Streisand effect, where attempts to hide and censor information only makes it more available. Perverse incentives also remind me of the New Year's resolutions, but maybe I'm being too negative. Now let's see some things we should do after we find ourselves in a hole. As we have seen, stop digging is the first. Don't double down. Acknowledge the mistake, analyze why it backfired, and pivot. This takes courage. If you were trying to fix something, try focusing on the root cause. Are you treating the sniffles or the underlying code? Perverse incentives often arise when we try to solve a symptom with a superficial reward. And start small. Don't roll out major changes globally. Pilot them on a small scale, observe unexpected behaviors, and be willing to adjust or even scrap the idea. Before implementing any solution or incentive, map out not just the intended direct outcome, but also the second and third order consequences. How might clever people exploit this? Understanding perverse incentives and remembering the law of holes, it's about being wise. It empowers you to see beyond the surface, anticipate problems, and know when to adapt your strategy rather than blindly digging yourself deeper. The next time you're faced with a problem or designing a solution, ask yourself, am I creating a perverse incentive? And if things start going wrong, please put down the shovel and think with self awareness. What perverse incentives have you observed in the world? And how have you successfully applied the law of holes in your own life? Share your insights in the comments below. If you liked this video, you may also be interested in our video about true happiness and philosophy. Thank you for watching.